Yo, what's up everyone? It's ChelloC and welcome back to the channel. Got another video for y'all boys. Before we get into the topic for today, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications because who don't like to be notified when I post, you get what I'm saying? But today, we're going to be talking about essentially streaming services in the gaming industry. I wanted to talk about how it's kind of destroying the pirating scene for gaming. One of the things that when I bought a PC, I realized was a great positive for having a PC was the fact that games were a lot cheaper. Not only were you able to find sales on Steam and other platforms like Epic Games and stuff like that, and you would get free games, but on top of that, you had services like CD keys and G2A. And I know that like in the greater journalism gaming scene and other gaming scenes, it's very frowned upon to buy games from CD keys or G2A because those are largely stolen keys. And if you're looking to support the developers or the creators behind a game, it's frowned upon to buy them from G2A or CD keys where you can buy them completely marked down. A game that would probably cost you about $20 can cost you about $5 on CD keys. But then on top of that, you could pirate games. Just full out go to a Pirate Bay, get your torrent thing going and have a full-blown game for free on your computer. Those are things that I largely thought about when investing into a PC. But now that I have a PC, I realized that one of those things, pirating games, is just not something that I need to do. Number one, because I could take this investment that I have that I spent, around almost $2,000 for, and completely fuck that up in a matter of seconds by trying to download a torrented game, pirating a game, essentially. I could fuck up everything by trying to pirate one game. And that's not something that sounds really cool to me. Like, I'm not willing to gamble with my $2,000 investment like that, And then the second reason for that is that there's really no reason to pirate games when there's all of these streaming services. Now, this has happened in another industry before. I would say the music industry, when it came to pirating music, it was something that was largely done. It had a lot of positives with very slight negatives. One of the slight negatives that were there for me was the fact that you kind of want to preserve all of the music that you pirated. Like you downloaded a full album by Eminem, you always wanted to keep that full album by Eminem. You never wanted to re-download it again. So a lot of ways of preserving that mean that you had to have a lot of hard drive space, or on your phone, you needed to have a hefty SD card to hold all of your music. Streaming fixed that for me. And also, of course, there were viruses that you could get with trying to download music. Sometimes you would download incorrect files because people were trying to promote through piracy, so you'll download this song from Mr. No Fuck in North Carolina instead of downloading Lil Wayne's premiere new album. So I think that when things like Spotify came out, it became a lot easier to just use Spotify, because now if you have Spotify, the free version of it, you have to listen to your songs on shuffle. If you're listening through an album, you have to listen to it on shuffle. But when Spotify first came out, for completely free, you could listen to full-blown albums, no shuffle, just listen to them even without having their subscription. Of course, things have changed now, but even the price of just $10 a month is an okay enough price to be like, okay, I'm gonna use Spotify instead of just downloading pirate music, have the potential of getting caught and fined for hundreds of thousands of dollars, having the potential of getting a virus on your computer or on your phone, having the potential of downloading the wrong music, and then also having the potential of taking up hard drive space that if you weren't downloading illegal music, you wouldn't need it in the first place, right? So, like me and everyone else in this country, everyone kind of started switching to streaming services to get their music. And I think that with gaming, I don't know if the companies know this, but I think that they're largely getting rid of piracy by creating these streaming platforms. The gameplay that you're seeing on the screen right now is Far Cry 6, right? Though I did buy Far Cry 6 for my girlfriend on her Xbox One, when it came to me and the gameplay you're seeing on your screen, I simply just paid a $15 a month subscription service, which I've been paying for the last maybe 4 months for Ubisoft Connect or Ubisoft Plus or whatever they would like to call it, where essentially I get all of their games newly released or as old as they come for $15 a month, right? Here's where that kind of rectifies it for me, because a lot of older games I'm not willing to pay for, so then I would resort to pirating. But if it's a Ubisoft title, I don't have to pirate. I could just go back into their catalog and download, for example, Prince of Persia and play that game for as much as I want or as little as I want within my subscription service. And then also, you know, with Xbox Game Pass, you have a ton of games there that, you know, normally I wouldn't necessarily want to fork over whatever they're worth in Steam, because a lot of times when it comes to digital games, they drop down for sales, but largely they withhold their price, especially on the Sony side. But I would say on Steam, most Steams kind of hold their price unless they're on sale. If I wanted to play, what's on Game Pass? If I wanted to play The Avengers, is on Game Pass. Its full price is $60, and I'm sure at some point you can probably catch it on sale for $20, $15, because they know nobody want to pay $60 for it. But largely, you know, you have to wait for a sale for that. But let's say you have an impulse of wanting to play Marvel's Avengers right now. Just watch the video. You really want to watch that shit. The first thing I would do if I have an impulse is not buy it for $60, but it would be to go pirate the game somewhere and try to get the multiplayer working somehow, right? But now you have it on Game Pass, so if you have that impulse, you can just pay $15 and go play the Avengers along with the whole Game Pass catalog, right? I feel like services like this are largely getting rid of pirating. I would even say the same thing for EA Play. EA Play, Game Pass, Ubisoft Plus is largely helping out the community as far as getting rid of pirating and the thought process behind pirating. I really don't pirate many games anymore. I just find it too much of a, you know, you got to know people. You got to make sure people are downloading games and letting you know that they are available without any viruses involved, right? I mean, I just don't have friends like that. Most of my friends do not even have a PC. So I would say that, like, it's just not worth it for me. It's not something that comes to my head when it comes to pirating games. Now, of course, I might still start emulating. Emulating games is still pretty popular, but if they would ever start pushing older games to their platforms, kind of like how Ubisoft is doing with EA Play and Xbox Game Pass, I think that there will be no reason for emulation either, because the games are already there and you're already paying for the service. I think largely this is going to take over the space. I feel like every console, every platform, PC, not PC, everyone's going to start using streaming services a lot more. Could I have bought Far Cry 6? Yeah, I really wanted it. I really wanted to play it, but what's the reason? If I could just pay $15, right? Yeah, I don't own the game, but with how Ubisoft service is, I don't see it just disappearing out of nowhere to the point where I can't play it, unless we just largely lost access to the internet. Which, I mean, yeah, that's technically kind of fucked, especially with the streaming services, because if you go offline, you can't even access the game that you're paying for, that you're paying the $15 a month subscription service. If you just lost access to the internet, you can't play any of those games. And I think that's the one downside. But, hey, it is what it is. Let me know how you feel about these streaming services popping up and changing the landscape of video games as far as pirating goes. Let me know how you feel in the comment section down below. I would love to read what you guys think about that. But I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.